Hi guys, and it's your girl again, Bukola Davido. I am back again. The rate at which this year is running fast, eh? Hey, it's just running so fast. You would think, when did we start January? We're already on the third week of January. Anyway, thank you everyone for subscribing. If you have been a subscriber, thank you for coming back again to my channel. Thank you. And if you are a new subscriber, welcome to my channel. It's Bukola Davido's channel, and I'll be having stories from time to time. Please kindly like, comment, share in today's series. Today's series we're going to be talking about IT, the career called IT. So I've seen a lot of people trying to get into IT, a lot of people trying to, say that, they've had difficulty getting into that space. Now, some people have had that IT background. Maybe in the university you had done some IT courses, you went to science class, and then in in secondary school you went to science class, in university you did IT courses. Maybe you did programming, you did software development, you did ICT, that's information communication technology, or you just did something techy. It might not be difficult for you to continue in that line. Some people have had career breaks. Some people have typically been running their own business, and then they now want to get into IT. They're wondering, how do I get into this space? There's this slang that a lot of people say that IT lonja. If you don't understand that language, it's kind of a slang in Yoruba, and it means that IT is paying a lot of money. So for people that are out of the country, they realize that it's either they're into IT or they're into the health system. So that's where most people move into. They see that they thrive in. So a lot of people just want to get into IT, and I've come today to demystify and to tell you my own journey into IT and what you can learn from that journey, one, and secondly, how you can get into the IT space, if you're not there currently. So I'm going to be starting with my journey. How did I get into IT? I think for me, I did ICT at the university, and my first job experience would be to work with an ISP. It was actually about 17 years ago. I had the opportunity to work with an ISP provider in Lagos. By ISP means Internet Service Provider. I worked with them in Lagos, and that was my very, very first work experience. At the time, it wasn't like I knew what I was venturing into. It was just a requirement in the school. After 4 years, ICT, as it were, was a 5-year course. And after 4 years, you need to go into the job market and get some experience in the industry. So I had a 6-month experience, and I was opportune to go do this experience with a telecommunication company. So that opportunity actually opened me up to a lot of roles. It opened me up into opportunities in that space, because as an ISP, you're providing network for different organizations. So you're able to have different people coming on board to your network to ride on your own backbone network. So at the time, I got into that job, and I was always typically picking calls. So all I did was to pick call. Hello, I don't want to mention the name of the company, so I would just introduce myself, and then bookie on the line, I'll mention the name of the organization, and then they will tell me what their issue is. I follow experienced engineers to sites to fix the issues. We will look at it. At the time, fiber was existing, fiber optics. You might not know, I don't want to say so much jargons here, but fiber optics was existing, but it wasn't common. So what we used to use commonly then was DSL, digital subscriber lines, and people had lines running to their home, and this is how they get onto the internet. And if you remember those days, we didn't have all these nice computer that we have these days, the flat screen. What we had was like a box, typically like a box, and then that was the computer, and they would dial up onto the internet. And when they have issues, we want to go and check if it's an IP addressing issue, if it's some the issue can be anything. Maybe routing wasn't properly done. Maybe it could even just be an hardware issue. It could be that their cables were not properly connected. We call those cable, RJ45 cable. They're actually Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable, depending on whichever one they're using. I don't want to talk too much jargon, but yeah, that's typically is. Whatever you don't understand there, you can Google it. Google is your friend. And if you want to get into IT, your best friend has to be Google. So I just started in that way, and I started learning. I had a very, very good experience in that organization. And somebody came, that guy was a copper at the time. He came and he was like, guys, you are doing IT. I think it's a good time. There's this course, that you can take. It's called CCNA. That's Cisco Certified Network Associate. And, he gave us the books that we needed to read. And I did it. I did it because people did not have job. All I did was to go to work. I didn't have any concern, no cares in life to maybe I have kids or this is what I need to do. I didn't really have nothing doing apart from going to work, come back. So I just was using that to while away my time. So if you are young out there and your parents are like, read this thing, maybe not your parent, anybody telling you, advising you to read something, there's so much knowledge in reading, and knowledge is power. They say at the time it was easier for me to read, and this is the best time. If you're young, you don't have kids already, you're not working, nobody is on you, you're not fending for anybody, I think it's the best time for you to gain all the knowledge that you can gain. At the time, it was easier for me. It's not because I knew that before that it's going to be easier then than now, but now if I think back, I really think that it was easier for me to read then than now. I was able to read, and I did the exam and I passed it in flying colors. I think it was over 1,000. I got 1,000 and I passed it, and that thing actually helped me, even brought up a lot of confidence in me to be able to go back to school and defend my project. I had a very, very excellent project report and all that. And after that, I got into the main IT. Now, for me to get back into the industry was a bit difficult because, after school, you would do NYSC, and NYSC can just throw you into somewhere else. For me, they threw me into banking, and then I was in marketing. I tried my best to get back into IT because I loved it. I couldn't get into it. So I was just doing what I was doing. And if that's your case right now, let me tell you, whatever knowledge that you're gaining in your organization, it might just come in handy one day. You might be gaining some other types of knowledge that's not really your interest, but whatever you're doing, you find your hands to do. I think you should just do it well. Learn it, own it, master it, because you never know. You never know when it comes into play, because that marketing I did for like a year also helped me. So that was going to moving on. That was going to actually deviate me. It was going to make me start doing marketing, not because I love marketing, but it made me, the marketing aspect made me kind of come out of my shell. I was a very, very shy person, quiet person, so to say. There's that quiet part of me. So that marketing kind of brought me out a little bit off my shell. I was more outspoken because I needed to speak to people to bring their accounts to my bank at the time. So I did that just for like a year, and after that, the bank that I was working with then they were no longer in existence, so I had to go back into IT. And my next role was to be training that these IT schools, I think one, maybe Henna IT, they call them Carox. There are a lot of them, that's just two examples. I don't want to mention the particular one. I worked in one of them, one of those training organizations. And because I had that certification called CCNA at the time, I think it was as far back as 2007, I had that certification. They told me to come and start training people. And this is me training people. Most of them were people that have had work experience and they just want to have this certification. So for me, I had to go and read more, because I'm now teaching people that probably know more than me. Some of them have more experience. They don't just have the book knowledge, and they want to come to school to learn this thing. And because those devices were new, some of those devices were new, some of the organization were buying it, they wanted me to teach them. So it was a lot of work. I will go back home, I will read because I needed to teach people. I will read, prepare a lot as if I'm having an exam to go and teach them. and I was able to excel in that space. Just that there was no money there, so I found a way out of it, and I was able to escape. There are so many stories in between, but we are focusing on the story we are on. So I ended up doing going back into the IT industry. I became a network engineer, and yes, there was a lot of experience. I was able to work with most devices, network devices, the routers, the switches were major things that I was working at, with, and then configuration, implementation, and all that. Typically, we had people on site, people that would design. I worked with fiber guys. I worked with different things, and it was good. It was a very good experience for me, but there was no money there. And then at the time, there was no money there. And that's why, the knowledge that you gain is going to stay with you regardless. If you really, really want to go in there, just continue to give it whatever, give it your all, So after I left the organization, I, had a short break. No, even before the short break, I think I worked with an organization that is a consulting firm. I was looking for more money, so I went into an organization. Funny enough, they employed me as a network engineer, but when I got in there, the space they want to put me in was no longer, they didn't get the projects, so I had to become a BA, a Ghanaian Elijah. Apparently, all these spaces were in the IT, and it was always like they've thrown me into deep ends. I need to do a lot of research by myself. It was tough at some point, but I was able to wiggle out of it. I was able to succeed in my role. And after that, I had a break and then came back into the industry. Anyway, to not make this video so long, I realized in my own story, becoming being in the IT journey and currently still an IT engineer, there's the implementation, there's the architecture. You can be in design, you can be in project management, you can be in any part of IT. I have found out the steps that you can go back into, and become an IT person. One of the steps that I think I wrote it down somewhere. So one of the steps that you can go back into is either you want to be an IT person and then you're getting a degree. So if you are still young, you are very young, you want to get an IT, you can decide to get an IT degree. You could be in software development, it could be in software engineering, it could be whatever. You need to identify that space that you want to go into. Is it cyber security? There are just some things that you need to identify. So you can get a degree. That's number one. Number two, I think I've mentioned that already. You need to identify that space. So if you already have a degree and you think, okay, let me do a master's degree. A master's degree would give you like give you like a small subset of that thing that you want to do, that area that you want to kind of master, And sometimes it's not just about the book knowledge. It's not just about the book knowledge, to be candid. If you've already gone to the university and you feel like, I don't even want to go to be learning some, too many things. I just want to streamline, identify a course and go online to learn it. You can learn from places like Udemy. You can learn from Google, just Google. You can use YouTube. There are a lot of resources everywhere. Just type it on Google, ask questions. And another way to also thrive in this area is to, get a mentor. I cannot underestimate the power of mentors. Imagine somebody that walked through a path before, now and holding you. For you to walk through that path, that it becomes such an easy path for you to walk. So you need to get a mentor. I think, you need to, one, get a degree, find your area of interest. You can get a master's if you want to, so that you can learn more. 3, you need to, once you find that your area of interest, you can decide to go for a course, maybe short course. You might not even want to do a degree. You've come to that point that I'm not doing any degree. You know what? I just want to find a course. And then you decide that this course, you go for that course, you learn it very well, and you master it. You have mastered your craft. You have known it. You can then maybe understudy someone. You can even do an internship with an organization, with a friend. If you don't have opportunity with an organization, you can simply go meet a friend that has a small business and, learn, do an internship. And number 4 is get a mentor. Get a mentor, let that person handhold you so that you become better and better at that craft that you're doing. So I think with this 5 point of mine, I have been able to convince you and told you how to get into IT. Now, this might be high level, but I see a lot of people going straight into, I want to become, people come out to say, you can become a software engineer in 3 months. Come and do this course. The course costs maybe £2,500. It's £1,000. It's 5, and they just get the money from you. And you finish the course, you are seeing that you're not where you want to be. To be candid, I don't like to be aspire to Maguire. That's some jabbish, but I don't want to, just be that person that will tell you what is not going to work. Sometimes you need to learn. You need to, get an internship. You might need to apply just a small role initially, and then you grow from it. But if you are very good, if you can learn, maybe you can learn in the space of, let's say, 6 months, and understudy someone, shadow somebody, get somebody that knows this thing, shadow somebody, and you would see in fact that, man, this thing is not as hard as it seems, because the moment you see someone has done it, it makes the book knowledge even easy. So you need to understand someone. An example is somebody that is a pilot. No matter how much you read, you've gone to school, you still need to sit beside the pilot and co-pilot and understudy and sit beside them, and then you will learn better. You will learn easily. No matter the job you do, a lot of times you gain experience on the job. So this is what I brought out to you today, and I hope that you are able to follow through. I want you to drop in the comment section, is there a part in IT that you want to go into, or that you want somebody close to you to go into, or do you have a sister, a brother, somebody around you that you want to learn, you want them to learn? I have some people that I handhold, that I tell how to succeed in an interview, how to attend an interview, what to say, how to make your mark, how to and you need to leverage on people, how you need to even what steps you need to take to just excel. And I'm bringing this to you right here today. If you struggle with anything in this space that I've spoken about, you can drop it in the comment section. If I have answers for you, I'll put it down there. If I don't, I would find out and I will get it to you. All right, until we see next time, same station, like, subscribe, share, and comment. Thank you. Bye.